Slapshot! Utah!
Oh, welcome to our shitty podcast. We're here on Slapshot, Utah this week talking about a win against the New York Rangers. Are the Utah Mammoth back? We're about a quarter of the way through season. I think we got to win some more games first. Welcome to Slapshot, Utah. My man on the mic, John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, dude. How you doing, Leroy?
I'm
happy because I texted you at the end of the first period last night. I said, if we lose this game, you and me are going to come on here with fucking paper bags over our heads. We're going to look like Browns fans, but I'm glad we bounced back and we're here today, brother.
Yes, we came away with the win. I was actually a little surprised that you sent me that text because I was at the DC feeling pretty good about that game. But I guess we're going to unpack it and see what's to feel good and what's not to feel good. Of course, what we speak of is the Utah Mammoth has broken the losing streak. Yeah. We won.
We're back. We're back. Finally, dude.
And I did agree that if we lost last night, well, I said if we lost in regulation, bags on heads with the game. It's such
which would have been great content. No.
Oh, sure. Well, I think it's really interesting the mood swings of how quickly we can go from hot to cold, or from euphoria to despondency. I mean, quite honestly, all we got to do is win back-to-back games, and everyone's going to feel a lot better. But now. I know that Bear Tourigny got a little flack, got a little criticism for kind of whitewashing the losing, saying, well, we're undefeated in regulation, which is true. They took the Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks both to 2-3 overtime losses. So we got points there, not the result we wanted. But there was both of those games were winnable games. I know that we're back onto last week's excuses. But if anything blew any possible optimism from that coming out of the water, it was the Knights game, which was obviously, a superior hockey team beat us,
But I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm the weird guy that listens to 1280 The Zone. I don't listen to a lot of music unless I'm at the gym. But I was listening to them on my way home, and they were like, "Oh, Bear says, well, we're 4-0 in regulation," and they were like kind of dogging on him on that. And to be honest, he's kind of right. At least in hockey, you gain a point if you don't lose in regulation. So I'm not really mad at Bear's comments about that, to be honest with you.
Well, now for the listener who is just kind of jumping into hockey here in Utah, I will remind everyone that there was a time where there was no overtime rule in the NHL. People just played to a tie, and they were great with that. We'll just split the points.
Wait, so there was no overtime, and it would just be tie?
Yeah, you just have a tie. And so instead of an overtime loss, both teams would just get a point. There was no 2-point winner in a draw. And there was no overtime period. There was no shootout, any of that. Now you can see how that might have affected the game, which is like, well, if we're both guaranteed a point, why should we risk losing in the next 2 or 3 minutes? We might as well kind of play it safe and keep things moving along. And so I think the added incentive of the winner getting the second overtime point is a good addition. However, it ends up going to shootout so often, which isn't really hockey. It's a skills competition.
But shootout's fun, though.
Shootout is fun, and it is it's an attention getter and a fan favorite, but it's not real hockey. And so the purist doesn't like it. We'll take it. Of course, we're terrible at the shootout, as our West Coast road trip proved. Like I said, we got manhandled when we came home against the Knights. I think that's pretty clear. They're just a better team than we are. I mean, is that safe to say?
I think it's safe to say, but I just want to do something because I know there's a couple of you guys listening just for this moment. I posted something that I got something really cool for the holiday season, and I gotta give her a shout out. It's my friend Jenny, and she does these cool things. And look at this, guys. This could also be yours. So
Wow.
for the holiday season, look how cool this shit is. So follow her on Instagram. That's her Instagram. I'm putting her right there. And since it's the holidays, I'm gonna put it up here, dude. I'm gonna put it. We gotta. We'll have it as the backdrop on the
It's
pod.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. So her name's Jenny. I'm gonna put it up real quick one more time. Follow her at
The
text her,
Croft Workshop.
and she'll do anything. I just asked her to do a Mammoth one. I didn't even know she'd make it look so cool. So follow her. She's our first sponsor. So there you go, dude.
Very nice. It's
Love you,
beautiful.
Jenny.
Go to the Croft Workshop and pick up your Mammoth holiday wreath today.
Tell him Slapshot sent you.
Slapshot sent you. Wow. Okay, so we got a lot of hockey.
That was random.
Here. Yeah. No. That's good. We got to give it out. So look, we've talked about what we've been doing. What's coming up is not going to get any easier. Of course, the Knights are back in town again on Monday, and
that's weird, right?
Yeah, I think it's because, they're on the way in and out of their own town. So I imagine they probably kick off road trips and seal up road trips, probably all the time coming through Utah in the years going forward. The Montreal Canadiens will be at the Delta Center Wednesday night.
That's a fun game. If you guys, that's a legendary team. Go watch them.
Yeah. Both teams playing well. I wouldn't say the Knights are playing completely up to their potential. Of course, their number one goalkeeper is out, and so is Stoney. So the Knights are holding place. The Canadiens, you know how I feel about the Canadiens. I don't think they're off to, their hot start has kind of cooled a bit. I still think the Canadiens are a good team. These aren't going to be easy games. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to struggle. What is your reaction going to be when we only get 2 points out of these next two games at best?
So just looking over my notes of the past week, right? So taking it back to Monday, the Sharks game, I have a couple notes that I think we should bring up, right? Celebrini's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Celebrini's really good. And also, we look small on the ice. Like we talked about this in the offseason. We look pretty small. But I think our biggest thing, other than we don't shoot the puck or crash the boards like we need to, which we did actually on yesterday, and actually won the game. I think the biggest loss in this offseason, and call this a hot take all you want, Leroy, we could expand on this. I think the Connor Ingram was a huge loss to us. Our goalkeeping is very mediocre, let's put it. So Connor Ingram in 2022 to the 2024 season was 90.907, which you and me have talked about. And all our goalkeepers are sub 90. We're not playing good. We're not playing good defense, first of all, but our goalkeeping is subpar at the moment.
Yeah, let's unpack that real quick. So one of the things I really enjoyed about the Rangers coming to town is it was a special treat for Leroy. My previous incarnation as a Kings fan, I reveled into the Stanley Cup seasons for the LA Kings 2012 and 2014. The starting goalie for the Los Angeles Kings during both of those Stanley Cup runs was New York Rangers backup goalie Jonathan Quick. Now, Jonathan, great goaltender during those Stanley Cup seasons, but, he had back injuries and he was already, in his early 30s, I think. It was but it seemed like his career might be coming to an end. And he is just knocking it out. I mean, what his goaltending, what was his shot percentage? The save percentage was a .957 going into Sunday's game, 9.944. it was such a treat watching Johnny Quick, one of my favorite hockey players. I just absolutely
I
loved that.
love that.
But to back up your point, yeah, Jonathan Quick stopped 31 of 34 shots. Vamelka, although there were some desperate heroics, and I loved the spirit. I loved
He
it. Seemed like the
couple of the
veggie was
greatest
back.
goal saves I've ever seen, you know?
Yeah, doing the snowman and flopping
Yeah.
around. You know, that was everything we want to see from Veggie. But if you unpack the stats, he was just barely good, adequate. 20 shots, 20 saves on 22 shots. So he let in two. So just at
Yeah.
that 90%. Um, doesn't suck completely. And we didn't go down 2-3 nothing early on and then get that way. So props to Veggie. It was a good game. We got to keep that going forward. You're right. Vanacek isn't getting it done. I don't know if Connor Ingram was the answer. Was he really that good for us? And I say us here in Utah ever? Like,
I mean,
was there
I'm not
his
saying
reputation preceded him, but I never saw him really do anything in Utah.
no, I'm not saying that he was the answer, but I'm saying is his worst season was with us the first year he was here, and he was a .882, which is better than Vanacek is right
Yeah.
now. I just think that was what I was trying to long story short and long as well. I just think we lost a very good secondary goalie that would have been better than Vanacek, even though I love you. I love you, Vanacek. I'm just saying, like, Ingram is a pretty good goalie.
Well, and to take that a step further, maybe goaltender is something that should have been addressed
Well, and you and me
in free
talked about that
agency.
in the offseason. We thought that that was the number one priority was get because we knew Ingram wasn't going to. If you're a fan and you actually follow along, you know that Ingram wasn't going to come back.
It wasn't looking strong. And and not hearing anything, that's what we were saying early on, like, have we heard anything, like what's going to happen? And he's with the
Right.
Edmonton organization now. But look, okay, so you're right. We both agree the goaltending has kind of stunk, but we can use our eyes and give it the gut check, or I looked up a few stats here to see if we
Okay.
can substantiate any of what we think our eyes are seeing, right? Okay, and so a few of the things I wanted to see. So our goals per game average is 3 goals per game. That's 19th in the NHL. So a little below average, okay? But now, as many times as I hear everyone in my section and every Mammoth friend I have screaming, shoot the effing puck, 29 shots on goal average for our team. That's 11th in the NHL. So
Ooh.
we're getting shots. They're just not going in.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, obviously the power play is contributing to that because we can't score 14% on the power play. That's
Can we
28th
talk
in the
about the power
NHL.
play real quick?
Let's do it. We
Our
are
power play.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. But
No, hit it.
Our power play. Okay, dude, I'm a dumbass. I know. It seems like all we do is pass it around the perimeter. No one's shooting, no one's crashing. We don't do anything to try to like start something. It seems like we just are looking for an open shot, which in the NHL, you're never going to get an open shot. We need chaos. We need to crash the boards. We need to hit some slap shots. I don't get it.
I think you're right on. I think what we mentioned last week is I said, is it predictable? Maybe that was the wrong way, but
Dude,
it's
predictable is a perfect, yeah.
it's too deliberate. Like there was a tweet I saw from someone who's it was I've never seen a team get possession and pass and pass and pass and pass and pass the puck. And you're right, it's that controlled chaos or the greasy goals that are unexpectedly wheezed by through
Exactly.
born from
The
chaos. And look at what happened in the Rangers game. Didn't it seem like we played a lot more aggressive and reactively with a lot more
Yep.
pressure?
100%. 100%. Because, dude, all I've ever known in the last 2 years of being obsessed with hockey all of a sudden. Dude, the goal is this big. If I'm a goalie, the goal you have this much room. What you need is like you do a slap shot and it hits like your fellow teammate's like shoulder and then it flips into the goal. Like it's so hard to score a goal in the NHL. You'll never have an open goal. You need to create the chaos and you need to be able to execute once you get it.
Okay, now I'm going to make my case against our goaltenders. I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings. But I think
Send it off.
this stat will possibly convict our senses and maybe point to a culprit. Shots on goal allowed. Well, of course, I said shots on goal average were 11th in the NHL. But as far as how many shots the other team takes on your team, where do you think the Utah Mammoth rank among all 32 NHL teams? Where do the NHL
Which is it? If like you get the most, you're number one, or if you get the most, you're 32.
If you're number one, that means you've got the best stats, which means you would have allowed the least amount of shots on goal.
Okay.
And if you're last in the league, that means you would have allowed the most shots on goal. Where do the Utah Mammoth rank?
I would guess 27.
How about first place in the NHL with
God
24
damn.
allowed? Now, let's look at it, right? Remember, let's go back to our statistics. If we say an average okay performance, good performance by an NHL goalie is 90%, and we're averaging 24 shots, well, that should be about 2 goals a game.
Yeah.
And we're giving
We're
up
at 3.5 or some. 3.5 or something, right?
And then you look at this goaltending. So is it really that the goal? I know there's a lot of broken plays, and that's it. Volume isn't necessarily the same thing, but if it doesn't matter whether or not you're giving up 30 shots or you're giving up 10 shots that are easy goals on broken plays, one way or another, is it the defense or is it the goaltender?
I think it's the defense.
I mean, it all works together, obviously, but
it all works together.
Is it all
we leave our
bullshit in the
goalies on an
backfield?
island. We leave our goalies on an island, Lee, and I know you see it too. We leave if it's 2-on-1 on a goalie, it's 90% of the time they're going to score. But our defense goes so far up. We're playing at the blue line. We don't have. I don't know.
How many games are we going? How many games are we going to have to play with our goaltenders sub 90% save percentage before we stop saying that it's just that? Like, how long is it going to take? I mean, obviously, look, the reason we play 80 games is so. I mean, for everybody freaking out about the state of the Utah Mammoth, remember, folks, we get to keep those first 10 games. Like, it all goes into the same. So we got to work off the weight, so to speak. We got to work off, and you do it by winning. And it's going to take is 2 or 3 games winning. We'll be right back on track. And then, well, I've heard some calls for the coach's head. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. There was only one thing else I wanted to say statistically is obviously, we knew that the penalty kill was good. 8th in the NHL at 83%. Yeah. And our face-off winning percentage continues to be a disappointment. 46.5%. That's 27th in the NHL. All of this is going to balance itself out. But what... Look, I got one more statistical thing, and then we can move on to the next topic.
Give it to me,
so and maybe I'm picking on the wrong person, okay? Because I got his jersey on right here just because I knew that I was going to bring this up.
I love Gunther, dude.
Love Dylan Gunther, but I will say that, okay, well, so we said like the goalie save percentages. We said that .900 is about a watermark for whether or not you're doing okay or you're kind of sucking, right? Well, shooting percentage is a thing in the NHL, obviously, and a good shooter would shoot about 20%. Right now, the leading shooters on our team are Cooley, Peterka, and Kyler Yamamoto, which speaks to how effective he's been on the bottom line so far this year. But all three of those guys are shooting at about 21%. That means 21% of all the shots they take go in. Shoot 5, you should expect maybe 1 to go in, right?
Yeah.
Dylan Gunther is only shooting 12%, which is not abysmal, and it will even itself out because forwards usually shoot at about 15% league average. Dylan Gunther underperforming, and I could see last night on the Jumbotron when that slapper wouldn't go in, you could see the frustration on my man's face. All of these bad vibes catch up with you, and it's
I agree.
hard to get the frustration off your back, and we've got young players and we're going to have to play our way out of it. But people, that's why we play 80 games, and this is what builds character. We're not trying to win the Stanley Cup this November. We're trying to figure out what we're made of. And I'm going to say one more thing. One of my favorite things about the inaugural season is you remember that losing streak. You remember how bad it was when Dylan
January
Gunther
and
went.
February, boy,
It,
that was a rough. That was rough.
it was tough. We were feeling a lot like we're feeling like right now, except we just had the buzz of having our new team, you know what I mean? And we are going to come out whatever, but we were struggling. And remember that game when Dylan Gunther came back and scored the game winner? I think that was the
Against
Flyers
Philly?
game. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That
awesome.
we needed that losing because we needed to find ourselves. These are the adversities that create Stanley Cup teams, not in 2025 or 2026, but it's getting this team and the experience for these youngsters what they need to overcome to win a cup in 2028 or 2029. We get to keep all these lessons. It's not like so many other sports where we're just going to be in and out the revolving door of free agents every year. Like these guys are going to be around for a while, and we get to keep these lessons and we get to keep these trials. So everybody chill the fuck out.
Yeah, dude. Agreed. I have friends. Shout out my friend Milo. He finally learned that hockey is awesome. And dude, he was texting me. He's like, dude, we fucking suck. And it's like, no, dude. We're very, very young. Like, you got to remember, these are kids, dude. Unless, like, you're actually, these are 20, 21, 19, 23. They're so young. And luckily, we have them under contract for the next 8 years. So they're about to blow up. They're going to do better. But everyone needs to chill the fuck out. But I also understand, because, like, last year, it seemed like everyone just expected that we sucked. And now we're like, hey, we got to win. But everyone's calling for Coach Bear's head, Leroy. And before we get into how you and me feel, I have a couple of voicemails. And I want to play those first. And we're going to start out with our buddy Sean out in Wisconsin. Let's listen to what he says.
Leroy, John, Sean Cleary from Green Bay. I'm not even going to rant, but I know the shit's going to start with the Fire Bear chance. Stupidest take that I've ever heard. Whether you guys are on board with that or not, I'm not, I'll find out later, but it's the stupidest commentary that people have right now. You're talking to a lifelong Packers fan. I've watched my share of coaches come and go. You have to give it time. Bear's not out there. He is guiding from the side. Maybe my commentary is the younger guys need some mentorship. That's what they need. They need, a Stenlin. They need Schmidt. They need Tanev. They need help is what they need. I learned a saying a long time ago that the best students do not necessarily make the best teachers. So the young guys, Keller, Cooley, Gunther, they're not able to teach. So they need to get their poop in a group, otherwise known as shit together, and really they'll pull it together. We didn't hear about Fire Bear when they won 7 in a row. All we heard was that it's the Husky is the good luck charm. Call me biased, call me whatever, because I got to actually meet Bear on Friday night, and that's a whole other story in itself. But long story short, keep up with the commentary, keep up with all your stuff, guys. Love it from Wisconsin. And I will catch up with you guys later. Ciao.
Hell yeah, Sean. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Thank
You
you,
were able
Sean.
to, you heard that perfect, right, Leroy? This is our first.
Perfectly. Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Sean Cleary, formerly known as Joey Bag of Donuts, saw him at the Delta Center just last homesand.
Hey,
all right.
welcome to Utah. Glad you made it,
Welcome
dude.
to Utah.
Love you, Sean.
Yeah, love running into people, fans, friends like that you know from Twitter. Okay, I'm gonna back your point up, Sean. I agree with you, and I'll add to it this way. John Tortorella, high profile NHL coach, championship contender, winner, high tier coach, loses his job. He's not interested in a developmental team. He's not that type of coach. He's an X's and O's guys. You give me the pieces and the chemistry, and I'll make it happen. He's not developing players. He's not developing team cohesion. He's just not that type of coach. Now, Berrettini's days are numbered. When this team does gel and everything is right, he's not the type of coach that's going to coach Stanley Cup hockey. At least I don't think so. Year after year, it's all a developmental process. So to back you up, Sean, I agree. Right now, Bear might be the best thing for this team. You know, coaches that are driven completely and totally by winning championships can overlook the developmental process. And I think that's what Bear is here to do. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the job in Arizona, right?
Right.
Your thoughts on that, John?
I am completely on Sean's side in the sense of if you open up my notes. So every game, if no one knows, but I'd take little notes so that we could do this podcast. You know what I mean? And one of the notes I put down was, where is it? It says, how much is it of Bears' fault, or do we lack players? Like, is it Bears' fault, or are we just not good enough? Like, I don't really know. And that's up for debate. But I will go against Sean in one sense of like, I understand why people are calling for his job, because I'll bring up a weird stat like you were earlier, Leroy. He's the 5th longest tenured coach in the NHL. And so it's like, I could understand if like, you're just like, hey, let's see what happens. I like Bear. I'm not on the fire Bear wagon at all yet. I'm not even looking at the train tracks, but I can understand why people would feel like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, and any time you're losing or on a losing streak, obviously the coach has something to do with it. It's a whole, team coaching, result. But at the same time, I'm a proactive thinker when it comes to these sorts of things and just reacting. Look, it's like I said before, you can't blame Bear for the last 10 games and then give him no credit for the first.
Agreed.
People say trust the process. Well, did we create the process? Now pulling the plug before we know how the process plays itself out, it's premature. We're right around the middle of the standings. We can take another 20
We're one game out of the playoffs. Yeah.
Well,
one point.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Look,
one point.
and I don't want to throw the baby up with the bathwater, like towards anyone who's frustrated with the team. I get it, but calling for Bear's head right now and panicking.
Yeah,
it's kind of like panicking that we're down 2-0 and leaving at the end of the first period. Like, but we play the whole game for a reason, and it's not going great, but we can get it together, I think. Bear can get it together. But I don't think he's the long-term answer.
I don't think he's the long-term answer, and I don't even think Sean thinks that. I think that he's completely clear on that of like, hey, guys, let's let this roll a little bit. But I'm also completely on board with the duality of man, which I love. And so Randon, our buddy Randon, also left us a voicemail that might be completely opposite of Sean's.
You know what? You don't even need to hear from us tourney haters, right? You've already heard everything we have to say. What I want to actually hear is I want to hear the tourney defenders say something other than just, well, it's a young team and we got to give them time to really settle in because we can't expect them to win much now. And Tourney, he's a good coach. He got 6 more points than last time he got not enough points, but he's going to get 4 more points this year, so just give him some time. No, we don't need to give him more time at all. We've given him all the time in the world. There's no more time for you, Tourney. There's no more. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. You're out. You're gone. Put in Madden. Our PK is outstanding, right? PK's on fire. So why not put the coach who's responsible for that in charge of something else? Or at the very least, Tourney, take some goddamn responsibility and say, you know what? I haven't been good enough, and I'm going to get better. You take a little bit of responsibility and don't blow smoke up our ass that you liked the effort and you liked what you saw, and we just got to put it out of our minds and play through it. Bullshit. Bullshit, Tourney. Take some responsibility, and then maybe I'll give you an extra month.
Shout out,
Oh!
Oh, shout out Randon though. That was such a good one, dude.
My man Randon, if you haven't heard the Two Line podcast, Two Line Pass podcast, check out Randon. What a hot take. Fired up and frustrated about the Utah Mammoth and the coaching situation. What did
Follow
you think
them, they're
about
the homies?
Yeah. What do you think about Randon's take? Is it,
To be honest,
look, he
dude,
summarized my take pretty good. Oh, the youngsters are so well done, Randon. But what's up, John?
he literally called us out. He said exactly what you and me said. And honestly, he's also just like Sean, he's not wrong. Like, he's not wrong. Like, I understand like both sides. I completely get it. Like, at one point, how long do you have to? I mean, I'm a Steelers fan. Everyone should know. I'm at the time of like Mike Tomlin. Oh, we have no losing seasons. Motherfucker, I want to see something different. And so, like, I get the frustration of fans wanting to see something different.
Yep, and you can't expect not to hear it. And I think that that's where we're moving. The honeymoon is over. Is it over?
The honeymoon's over.
The
honeymoon ended. The honeymoon ended.
Now hear this. John is declaring the honeymoon is over in Salt Lake City. Okay, if anything, if there's any indication of that, Randon's take on it is true, because you're not going to be able to perform like this in season 4 or 5, 6. You know,
Nope.
all the real hockey fan base is going to eat you alive. So get ready for it, guys. I'll tell you what, I'll make everybody a deal. Randon, if we're still flailing like this at the Olympic break, I'm jumping onto Team Randon. Then I will be 100%. Might as well scratch it and let's move someplace else. I think we're going to play our way out of this.
I just like to be able to do that. It's cool.
I mean, a random round of applause. It's great stuff. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to hold
also up. Randon, follow Randon's podcast. I'll put it up again. They're super cool. Oh, I already lost it, but yeah, Two Line Pass, right? Two Line Pass.
Two Line Pass podcast.
Yeah, they're great. Follow them.
Okay, but great call. Anything else?
So we have one more from our brother Jerry. And I agree with Jerry on this one, because we talk a lot about Keller and we talk a lot about Gunther and Vedmelka and all these guys, but he's giving a little bit of credit to someone I never even mentioned in the preseason. So Jerry, let's hear what he has to say.
My guys, it's Jerry. I'm going to avoid the grievance. I'm just going to say, for all the DeSimoniacs out there, what a revelation he's been in the lineup. DeSimoniacs forever.
DeSimone came in. He did great. Jerry is not wrong. DeSimone has been crushing it for us.
So he scored, was it in the Vegas game and the Rangers game? I know he scored last night in the Rangers game.
Yeah.
So my season ticket buddy, same row as me, Big D Vader, right, Dustin?
Big D, dude, I love you,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. So, Big D kind of cozied over to me. He says, so, we need some offense. And I'm like, yeah. He says, Daniel Boot is kicking ass and taking names down in Arizona.
I actually have that as a note as well.
Yeah. And his question for me was, you should ask the audience if we were going to send somebody down to bring up Daniel Boot to create some offense, who would it be? And it's interesting because, my brain started going through the Rolodex of inconsequential players. And I immediately said, Nick DeSimone. And within seconds, Nick DeSimone scored a goal, which I was like, oh, maybe not DeSimone. His idea was Tanev. But one way or another, the DeSimoniacs, of course, Jerry, Mammoth Almanac, a Flames fan, incidentally, because of their connection to the Salt Lake Golden Eagles back in the day. Very nice. The DeSimoniacs have showed up. Yeah. I love the role players on this team. I mean, look, everything from DeSimone to Kyler Yamamoto, who's a ball of energy and fury. It's fun. These secondary,
they're fun.
They're okay. Look, Ian Cole, right? We're in the middle of this terrible losing streak. Ian Cole, who, by the way, is, I think he did last year and he's this year as well, leading the league in blocks. That's when you pretty much put your body, face, what have you, in front of the flying puck as a defenseman. It was Ian Cole, who called out the team, said, hey, people just are too comfortable with losing in this locker room.
Yeah.
People are too complacent with it, and it's not okay. And until that changes, that's why we've got, leaders on the team like Ian Cole. But hopefully that got a fire into some people. So DeSimone, yeah, he's on the team. But good question. If you can answer it, who do you send down or who do you scratch so you can get Daniel Boot up?
I like Turbo, but I would send down him. I want to see, dude, he just had his first hat trick, and the goals were electric. The goals were like, here, watch this. I already have it pulled up. Might as well pull it up for us, right? Now that we got cool video, let's watch this. Let's go. Cram.
Kablam.
Sick. That was a sick goal.
Yeah,
that was a great goal. Look, brings it down with his glove. Boot. Another one. Dude, he is just he's got such great control, and look how big he is.
Oh yeah, he's a monster on blades. These third and fourth liners have been kind of the energy of the team. I mean, Keller hasn't really blown up yet. We've had a couple. Yeah, just great. So I'm still really optimistic about the team, guys. We could still make the playoffs.
I am too.
We probably still will make the playoffs.
But
we got to shovel out and figure out. Or we're going to find out. But we did hear early on that the Smith Entertainment Group is going to be aggressive on the trade market. So if the goaltending situation isn't working, someone's going to be selling. We'll see. We'll find out what happens. But for now, hey, guys, we could beat the Golden Knights, and the tune is going to change completely. I mean, how would that be, beating the Knights and the Canadians? I don't think it's
getting
happen.
Them back too. So is that how many games do we have until next Sunday when we record?
Okay, well here, so we've got the 24th, Monday, against the Vegas Golden Knights. Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the 26th, 7:30 p.m. against the Montreal Canadiens. And then
at Dallas,
pretty brutal road trip.
Yeah,
Dallas, St. Louis, San Jose, Anaheim, Vancouver, the Flames. Like, it's going to be, is this a 7 or 8 game road trip, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
It's out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 6-game road trip. That's brutal.
Yeah.
All right. But for us, so we have Vegas, Montreal at home, Dallas, St. Louis away. What's your prediction we come home with?
Okay. So for those 4 games until we get back, I'm going to say we're going to lose to the Knights. I think we're going to lose in overtime to the Canadiens. So there's 1 point. I think we're going to lose to the Dallas Stars. And I think we're going to win the game against the St. Louis Blues. I think we're going to take 3 points out of the next 4 games.
All right. If I'm going to guess, fuck, I'm pretty close to you, dude. I think we're going to win 2 of these games. So I'm going to say we leave with 4 points. I think we beat the Habs here at home on Wednesday, and I think we beat the Blues on Saturday, but we lose to Vegas and we lose to Dallas.
Time will tell. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, time will tell, dude. But hey, Leroy,
Yes.
let's go Mammoth. Hey, I think you and me could both like send out to people who are listening. We are both optimistic about the future of this team. This is a normal thing for a young team. We're gonna be all right, people. This isn't crash and burn, fire everybody. I know everybody's so excited because we finally have a team and we want to be like in the Stanley Cup playoffs every year. Give us 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years. All right. We're gonna be all right. Yeah, we're gonna be all right.
I hope everyone who celebrates enjoys their Turkey Day and has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Have a great Thanksgiving,
American Thanksgiving, as they say.
The
not Canadian
real one.
Thanksgiving.
No, I'm just kidding.
To all of our Slapshot Utah listeners and friends, thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you again next week.
Slapshot Utah signing out. Love you, Leroy.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Tusks up.
Slapshot Utah!